This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, Don't mistake the new me for the old me. They can't stop me now, I'm with the home team. No beginner, I'm a winner. Took a couple losses, now I'm cooking, let me simmer. Yeah, tunnel vision, all I see is win, 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 win. This my city section where you been. We move faster alone, but go further together. We can weather any weather forever. A dream team, I done seen things. Confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team out here celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like, Forget the things you probably thought you knew. A new day is approaching, turn the gray skies into blue. I grew up on these same blocks, school of hard knocks. Had to get it on a hard time, took the hard shots, but we made it. Anticipated, highly decorated. The whole team is winning, celebrated. The victory is all mine, and everything is alright. And you know how to see things, confidence is on 100,000. I got family for miles, running up the mileage. Made it through some trials and some tribulations. Now me and the team out here celebrating, yeah. This is where we come from, yeah, we did it. City on my back, I'm committed. This is where we come from, yeah, we made it. Now the whole team celebrating. We like,
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am today's entertainment man, and we are here with Spike Kool-Aid for November 18th, 2025. Let me do an audio check real quick, make sure I am good to go. And we are we good to go? What up? Shout out to my guy, Aaron. What's going on, Fave? What's up? I appreciate y'all, man, for being here. I did talk to my guy, Motor City Cats, and he told me that he might be able to join the show, man, depending on what time I do it. So we'll see if we can get that going on. I'm still working on my system to see if I can bring in guests. I would like to start having guests on for my show on Lion Syndicate, and then this show as well. Maybe bring on somebody different, once a week or something like that. But shout out to everybody in the building, man. We got Bud Tree in the building. What up? So as far as the time, we'll see if we can buckle down on a time. But it's a couple things that I wanted to talk about that I did not get to talk about yesterday. One of those things is Jake Bates. Should the Detroit Lions extend him, or is it time to look for another kicker? And a few other things as well. But what we're going to do on Tuesdays, or a few days after the game, this is going to be a day of grievances, right? We're going to put to bed the previous week. So if you guys didn't know, the new NFL week starts on Wednesday. That's why Tuesday is usually the deadline for everything. So we're going to put to bed the loss against the Eagles. Week 11 officially dies today, all right? And tomorrow we're going to move on. So the goal of Grievance Tuesday is to put all the grievances behind us for the previous week. So this is going to be, if we can get enough activity, this is going to be a chat run show, okay? So you guys can run. Hopefully nobody steals that either, because you know how they do. They be stealing stuff, bro. So we do have a text line that you guys can put in the comments. You can also text the hotline as well. I also think I want to include some of your overreactions in my overreaction video, all right? So shout out to the people in the chat. Okay, I just saw something from Adam Schefter about Jaden Daniels. So, okay, looks like he's going to join 3 Art Sports, which is alongside Travis Kelce and Myles Garrett to launch the production. Launch a production company. Hold on, let me read the full tweet. Let me see. Commanders QB Jaden Daniels is joining 3Art Sports alongside Travis Kelce and Myles Garrett to launch his production company and grow his presence in media, business, and entertainment. You know what that means, right? That means Jaden Daniels is about to start a podcast. That's what he's going to do. He's going to start a podcast. Sergey in the building says, hey, Derek, YouTube is definitely hiding your channel. Are they? That sucks, bro. I'm not even streaming the games. That's crazy. Shout out to Anna D in the building. Why does our online look bad and confused in... Hey, what is the rest of that, bro? In OU closes? What's the rest of that? In our losses? That's a really good question. That's a really good question. We're also going to talk about, I mean, who are the Detroit Lions really? Are the Detroit Lions, are they who we thought they were, or are they more? Because if you look at their record, man, and who they beat, haven't really, outside of the kind of outlier that is Lamar Jackson and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Lions have not beat a team over 500 except that one team. So we got to talk about that. All right, so Bloodtree says, let me see. Yes, because I had to look. Yes, because I had to look for you on your live on Lion Syndicate. But you know what? That's no surprise, bro. Like, I'm done. YouTube, I'm done with the whole thing. I'm just going to. They prefer certain channels. The bigger you get, the more they put you out because you can make them more money. So I think what they're doing for me is they and not just me. It's not just me. It is, there's only one guy in Detroit who gets all the viewership when it comes to live streaming. As a matter of fact, his entire channel is revolved around that. Without that, he wouldn't be much of anything. And so I don't know why they do that to me. All right, that Rakestraw pick should have been a C, bro. Hindsight is 2020. All right, so studios, what's your grievance? All right, so air your grievances out. You can either call or text. I will put the hotline. I need to have, you know what, man? Let me see. All right. So the kind of the temporary name, this might be permanent, but all right. This is the temporary name of the channel of the hotline. All right, 0544. If you guys have any grievances that you would like to air, hold on, let me remove that. I got to do that again. Text, send a text. Send a text to text. Send a text don't sound right. Text send a text hotline. See that, you know, when you say it twice, it sounds stupid. At 313, it is 536-0455. 0544. Yo, I almost messed up. Dirty boy, what up, though? What's going on, man? All right, so if you're just now joining us, what we're going to do on Tuesdays, win or loss, we're going to have a grievances show. All right, so you guys got any, this show is going to be run by you guys. Any topics you want me to discuss, any grievances you want to air, then we could do that. But we've got to talk about the Detroit Pistons, man. I know this is not, and I'm gonna start probably making Pistons videos as well. They do play tonight at 7:30. The Pistons are playing really, really good. As a matter of fact, they lead the Eastern Conference in record. They're playing outstanding football, outstanding basketball. They only have one loss so far. I'm sorry, two losses this year, man. So let's look at that. I want to see the NBA standings. The Detroit Pistons are 12-2. 12-2. The next best record is the Cavaliers at 10-5. So they're playing really, really good football. All right, what's up, Bobby? Says, Bobby, I'm still waiting on that picture, by the way, bro. You're supposed to send me a picture of the lion. I have a question, says Sergey. Derek, you have tried, let me see. You have tried doing the phone and text as a permanent thing and put it in your banner. Yes, I haven't got there yet. I will get there and update that. Thank you, Sergey, because I got to redo it anyway, man. All right, let me see. That O-line is bad, is so bad for Gibbs. And overall, it's reminding me that the O-line Barry Sanders had. Ooh. Wow, bro. That's tough. That is tough. Thank you for talking about the Pistons. Hey, absolutely, man. I had a friend. He died in 2015. He was a huge Pistons fan. And I was like, Derek, you know what? So I kind of fell out of love with the Pistons in 2005 when Robert Ory hit that shot. You know what I'm saying? I was devastated, bro. So I kind of stopped watching them. And then they started trading away guys. Ben Wallace left. Then Chauncey, they wind up trading him away. And I think Rip is the only one. Did they trade Rip? I can't remember, but I was born, my favorite Piston and NFL, oh my God, NBA player is Joe Dumars. Like he's my favorite one. Never said anything, with lockdown Jordan, all that stuff, right? So, but and a guy like nobody talks about, Adrian Dantley. So I was watching these guys back then. And then you had the Teal Pistons with Grant Hill and all that nonsense, the stupid horse, which by the way, I hate the logo. I hate it when they changed it. Then we got really, really bad. We were really bad. Then we start getting good again. But I mean, his team was bad. So it's like, I kind of stopped watching them, not because they were bad. I just didn't have the passion to watch them. But now the question is, can I watch the NBA? Can I watch the NBA, bro? Because it is so soft. It's almost unwatchable. So we'll see. We shall see. Shout out to Anna D with the super chat, $9.99. Appreciate you. Says the Lions are who I thought they were. They can change. Wait, they can change, but the cause needs to be addressed, and it does not all fall upon Jared Goff. Brad, fine, but he has to do better. Do I have to stop the cap? First of all, who did you think the Lions were? That's number one. And two, stop the cap. Stop the cap right now. Bradley Mathias, Jerome Cornelius, Leonardo Holmes is not fine. He is not fine. He is not fine. We'll talk about that. A Fave says through 2023, it felt like every one run was at least first down. Now we are fortunate to get even 5 yards a run. No Rip ended up signing with the Bulls in 2011. Wow, okay. Rip left in free agency. Team was cooked by 2011 when he was gone. Yeah, so I stopped watching after 2005, and then I started watching the people. You know, I'm hearing that they leaving, and this guy left, and then I do remember we traded for Allen Iverson. Like, what the heck was that? So anyway, watched Ben Wallace on that squad too. Rough years. Watching 20+ free throws a game can get boring. I usually just have the game on in the background. It's not even the free throws, bro. It's the fouls. Like I was watching Brunson last year. He was I mean, it's even happening in the NFL, bro. It's kind of crazy. All right, let me see. And there's too many NBA games. NBA games should almost be 2 a week, but the NBA is great. So I'm like, they play tonight at 7:30. I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Now, the good news about the NFL, oh my God, the good news about the NBA is that the games are much shorter. So you got 2 hours, like an NBA game is over in 2 hours. And that 2 hours can fly past. Not as many commercials seem like. Let me see. You're right about NBA being soft, which is why I only watch the Pistons games or the Central Division. My bad, bro. I move, so I'm in the middle of unpacking. Yeah, no, I'm messing with you, man. I'm messing with you. 82 games a season is kind of crazy, though. How about 162, bro? 162. I was talking to somebody. You know what? I want to have a conversation with y'all. Let me air one of my grievances. One of my grievances about why I am so passionate about the Detroit Lions. So, as a matter of fact, let me do this. So, we got a new segment. Hopefully, nobody steals this segment because, they like to steal stuff on the internet. They don't just borrow it. They steal it, and they want to claim ownership with it. So, hopefully, nobody does this. I'm not the first person to think of it, but, people in the community be stealing. That's all I'm saying. So, I got a grievance. I have a beef with the Detroit Lions. I have a grievance I want to air out. If you watch me, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been on the internet since 2017, 2018, I really started getting serious about it in 2019. And I wanted to tell you what my problem is. One of my issues, and why do you get the type of person that you get when it comes to the Detroit Lions? There is one statistic that every Lions fan must know. You can't call yourself a Lions fan without even knowing it. Now, it's not that the Lions became the Detroit Lions in 1934. It's not even that one. I would forgive you if you didn't know that, right? It's not about any one player. It's about that the Lions are one of 4 teams to never go to a Super Bowl. There are 3 stats that go together. 1, the Lions are one of 4 teams to never go to a Super Bowl. 2, the Lions are the only NFC team to never go to a Super Bowl. 3, the Lions are the oldest team in the NFL to never appear in a Super Bowl. Now, one day that will end. Will you see it? Will I see it? I don't know. I'm just being real. We was close. 1991 and 2023. Maybe every 32 years it happens. If that's the case, then I'll be 70. No, I will be 80 years old. I'll say, oh my God, I'll be 78 the next time this happens. Now, am I being hyperbolic? Of course I am. But am I really? Is it that far out to think that maybe it doesn't happen for another 32 years? I mean, only 2 teams do it. Only 1 team per conference. So while we wait 32 years in between NFC championship appearances, while we wait, that gets tough. It gets tough. Now, this ain't same old Lions. Same old Lions is dead to me. That's a thing that doesn't exist anymore. Same old Lions to me was deeper than losing. It was a culture thing. It was an ownership thing. All that stuff is over with now. But at the same time, we still, everything that we did win the NFC North for the first time in the 2000, it was 22 years of realignment at that time. And we finally won it. Then we won back to back. And who knows, we could three-peat. Where now we got three consecutive NFC North championships, which will be great. I'm not taking anything from that. But it is what this team has yet to accomplish. It is the fact that I feel like the Lions are in a class all by themselves. When people tell me to relax, it's irritating. As a Lions fan, I shouldn't be relaxed. You shouldn't be relaxed. I'm not one to question somebody's fandom, but it's kind of weird to me. How can you say, as a Lions fan, to relax in anything? Relax for what? If you relax too much, you might relax yourself out of existence. Like, that's where we are. So when I tell you that the Detroit Lions are the oldest team in the NFL to never appear in the Super Bowl, it hit different, don't it? When I tell you that the Lions are the only NFC team to never appear in the Super Bowl, it hit different, don't it? The Jacksonville Jaguars, created in 1993. I was in middle school. Your Detroit Lions are with them. We've been around 60 years longer than them. Why? What are you talking about? How can they? We should have been to a Super Bowl. You got the Houston Texans, a franchise that's 22 years old. Why are we what are we talking about? We got many, many decades on them. And then you have the Cleveland Browns, which, by the way, started over in 1999. The Cleveland Browns became the Baltimore Ravens in 96 and then became the Cleveland Browns again. They were deactivated as an NFL franchise. Your Detroit Lions go from the Portsmouth Spartans to the Detroit Lions to the oldest team in the NFL to never be in the Super Bowl. That is why. That is a grievance. That is why I demand what I demand of this football team. It's nothing else. I want to know what it feels like to win. Here it is that Les Snead and Howie Roseman are making Super Bowl caliber moves while we have a GM who's quiet at the trade deadline. We have a guy that traded for Donovan Peoples-Jones when we obviously didn't need Donovan Peoples-Jones. So I have some grievances, man. And any Lions fan, this is just my opinion, should never, ever settle for anything but greatness every single year. Every single year. Back in 2023, it's funny to me because a lot of people in the comment section, a lot of people were saying, what was the number one thing that you said in 2023? When we go 12-5, we win our first playoff game, we beat Matthew Stafford. We win our second playoff game, we beat Baker Mayfield. We go to the NFC Championship game. How many of y'all thought we was going to win that game? I did not think we were going to lose it. I went or win it. I didn't think we were going to win that game. San Francisco, I was like, they were playing lights out. They had the number 1 seed. I'm like, I think they were 13-3 that year, whatever they were. I'm like, man, we're playing in their house. I'm just happy to be here. We're sitting there up 17 points at the half. I cannot believe it. I remember it like it was yesterday. I'm sitting at halftime and I'm like, I'm hearing people celebrate I'm hearing them celebrate. They're getting, cheese fries. They're getting their beers, man, prepping for the third quarter. I hear them celebrating. And I'm saying to myself, not yet. I literally heard people planning to go to the Super Bowl. I'm even guilty of it myself. I look down and I'm like, man, I don't have no money. I don't have enough money to go to the Super Bowl. But how much would it be to just be in a space? How much would a flight be? I was guilty of it myself. I looked down, I'm like, nah, let me focus on the game. That's where my passion comes from. Decades of not reaching the goal that everybody is reaching. Not reaching the goal that we are supposed. That's what Brad Holmes was brought here to do. Dan Campbell, Jared Goff. That's why Matthew Stafford wanted to get out of here, because we weren't going further. So that's my grievance. That's why I am the type of fan that I am, because until we get one, I'm demanding of everything. Maybe I'll be less demanding after we win our first one. In the meantime, I'm going to keep being this type of way. Let me know what kind of way are you in the comments below. Let me see. It makes losses not really matter and feels like they don't try hard. Bobby says, I was arguing with a dude who said he has been a fan since 1973. I'm like, bro, we don't live forever. You should be screaming for the loudest. I'm done with all that waiting. All that matters is the playoffs. Brad Holmes is too arrogant to be a GM, says Master. What's up, Master? Hey, bro, you have been on one for it. You, Kool, y'all been on one, bro. And I like it. Yep, thought we were gonna win. Man, that was a tough thing. That was a tough thing, man. I think that, like, Stafford winning was one thing. That was one thing. We had to hear about, and like I said, man, my mom lives in Detroit. I grew up in Detroit. I live a couple miles outside the city right now. Ford Field, for me, since I take the street, is like a 45-minute drive. I take Ford Road all the way down. That was tough. And I had COVID. I had COVID too, bro, which, by the way, I think I had it now. I got sick 2 weeks ago, and I'm still kind of getting over it. Let me see. Bonzilla in the building says, you have a job. If you don't do your job, your boss will find somebody else who will. Hey, I think I know what you're talking about, Bonzilla. I think I know what you're talking about. I do. And I wanted to make a video, but I just made a video about this the other day, and I don't want to seem like I'm picking on the dude. But when do we have the Brad Holmes conversation? I was so scared in that Stafford game, but we pulled it off. Oh, man. Ain't it kind of crazy that, so Michael Badgley is on the Colts. Wouldn't it be crazy if, like, Michael Badgley goes to the Super Bowl, bro? Woo-wee. All right. We talked about this last week, and I want to get you guys' input. Today is like a grievance day, man, and I want to get your feedback in the comment section below. We made a video a couple days ago. I just never released it about, has Brad Holmes peaked as general manager for the Detroit Lions? Because let's be real. 2023 was his best draft. That was also the draft that he got his last double first-round pick, and he used it on Jack Campbell. We took Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, two guys that will be extended. The year before, Jamison Williams and Aiden Hutchinson. Both of them guys have already been extended. So now we got two more to go. Then you start to trickle in 2024. You got Terrion Arnold. Okay. They wanted Quinyon Mitchell. He was gone 2 spots earlier. Then you get to 2025, right? You got Tyleik Williams. Now we're a good football team. We're on the verge of great. We play great at times. But if you start to think about this, how, to me, it seems like you can miss less when you're in like this middle of the round, first round purgatory. Here's what I mean. Bob Quinn, he wound up making the worst decision of all time in firing Jim Caldwell. Now, inevitably, it landed us here. We had to go through 6 years of misery to get to where we are now. But Bob Quinn, hiring Matt Patricia, sent us here. It got us to where we are. Got us where we sucked. Got us where Stafford wanted to get out. Got us where both of them got fired, which opened the way to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. But at the same time, you got that middle of the pack, right? We took Taylor Decker at 16th overall. We was right in the middle. That was like the year that I think we had just missed the playoffs, or we had a first round exit somewhere around there. 2 years later, we take Frank Ragnow, right? So we took a left tackle, we took a center, both first round picks. A few years after that, we take Penei Sewell. And that came from Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. But now you got this so when we had our first second round pick, the Rams were coming off their Super Bowl championship, right? That was the year we took Aiden. Then the next year, the Rams had the 6th pick in the draft. The 6th pick in the draft. The Lions traded back, got Jahmyr Gibbs at 12, and got Jack Campbell at 18. Past 2 years, it's been all right? Jury is still out on Terrion Arnold. He's got massive potential. Tyleek, it's too early to judge. So the Lions are going to play good enough to get a late first round pick. It feels like you can miss less the later in the round, right? So for me, I'm wondering, are we seeing, what Brad Holmes who really is Brad Holmes? Is he the early 2022, 2023? Or is he the latter, which is 2024, 2025? One thing I can say about those boys back in the day compared to 2023, Lions had all the hardware for the division champs. Can we say that for ourselves with the 2023 Lions? Says Brad Moe is hurt, cheap practice squad. His MO is hurt, cheap practice squad players. Bonzilla says, and I hate to call you out, Bonzilla. I'm not calling you out, but Bonzilla says Brad Holmes must go. Okay. Anna says, I think he peaked. Fave says Brad should be a draft scout. That's all he's really good at. Okay, so let's have a serious conversation. You guys know why I come at him like I do. Because he is the guy that puts this team together. He is the guy that's responsible for putting the team together that is to get us to a Super Bowl. Now, he's not responsible for coaching. He's not responsible for how those guys play. But he is responsible for the talent getting on that team. Now, the reason I'm not going to hold Dan Campbell to that same standard is because ultimately it's up to Brad. Period. Brad can pull rank and say, they got this whole, we're buddies, we're happy, and we're sinking, and they got that whole dynamic, which is great. You don't want to have a beefed out general manager and a coach. You don't want to see that. So I'm not knocking that relationship, but at the same time, Dan Campbell is Brad Holmes' subordinate. That's it. He's the general manager of the Detroit Lions. Ultimately, he makes the decisions. The same way that Sheila is the boss of both Dan and Brad. Dan is the boss of all the players. Brad is the boss of Dan. Sheila is the boss of Brad. Right? Sheila at the top of the food chain. So actually, Rod Wood is probably the boss of Brad. But we to the point now that Brad Holmes, how long do we legitimately give him? Because you blink your eye, ladies and gentlemen, and in January, it's been half a decade. I'm using that for a dramatic effect. Because if you say 5 years, it don't hit the same, right? It's been, when you hear a quarter century, it hit different, don't it? It's been a quarter century since this. You be like, dang, a quarter century? That's 25 years. But you start thinking a century, 100 years, holy smokes, right? So a half a decade hit way harder than 5 years. How long do we give Brad Holmes? Brad Holmes needs to be more like Jerry Jones in the early 90s. I can't believe I just said that. I think that Brad Holmes needs to get out of his way. And I think we have two Brad Holmes. And I understand this because when you're in the public eye and when you're responsible for certain things, then you have to develop a type of callous, a type of swag, a type of arrogance. People call me narcissistic. I'm far from it. But when you're on the internet and you put your opinion out there and it is going to get criticized, you have to develop a type of arrogance to survive, right? So when Brad Holmes, to me, I feel like we have two different homes. We have the homes of when he got hired in 2021, the miserable season. The homes of the first Matthew Stafford first round pick. We take Hutch, we do all of this stuff. We get Jamison Williams. People like, wow, he was hurt, yada, yada. Then you have the definitive homes, the one that happened in 2023, when he got dragged through the mud from every media pundit and some fans for drafting Jahmyr Gibbs in the top 15. Jahmyr Gibbs winds up being a stud and still is about to get a monster payday. I think that's what changed Brad. That's when he started, to me, changing, which I understand. The whole world was against your pick. All you heard all off season was how dumb the decision was. The same way we heard that Dan Campbell was a meathead when he got hired. So I get it. But at the same time, you going into year 6, and if the Lions fall short of a Super Bowl, we got problems. That's it. The Lions should be progressing, right? So each year we've done that. We've done 9-8, 12-5. We went further. Last year we had a better record, but we was hurt. So we didn't get had the first seed, all that stuff, get bounced out. This year we lose our defensive coordinator, our offensive coordinator. We hire a dude that to be OC that ain't quite working out. Our coach has to pull play calling. And all of that is happening while we're expected to compete for a Super Bowl. This is year 5. Year 6, there's going to be a lot of conversation about what really needs to be done. And you blink your eye, and Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes both have 2 years left on their deal. I said this in the video before. At this moment, I'm extending Dan Campbell. If it were up to me, I would extend Dan Campbell for 3 years. 3 years. I would give him 10 total. For me, Brad Holmes don't get that same luxury. He don't get that same luxury. I set the standards a little bit higher for Brad Holmes than I do Dan Campbell. Now, if you want to keep having Brad hang on the fact that he took this team from obscurity and the laughing stock in 3 years, if that is your calling card, if that's what you want to hang your hat on, then fine. But let's be clear. People, when you bring in people, it is to do a job. It is to accomplish a specific thing. The Lions are already out of the hole that we were in. Those days are gone. I mean, these guys got rid of SOL, which was hard to do. No other general manager coach combo has done that. But the statistic that I got wrong the other day, I said it wrong, was that if a coach general manager combination does not win a Super Bowl in their first 5 years together, it historically has not happened yet. That's literally the year that Brad and Dan are in. Y'all think I hate to do it. I don't hate to do it. But sometimes, and even with myself, arrogance can get in the way. It can. And I think that Brad Holmes became different when he drafted Jahmyr Gibbs. The whole world hated it, and Jahmyr is a stud. And that changed the whole, to me, now at that point, you couldn't tell him nothing. I mean, when you wear a shirt that says positional value villain, you're literally saying kick rocks. And I'm not mad at him for that. But at the same time, you have a job to do. Your contract expires this day. Should you get another one? So let me know your thoughts. We got a super chat from Leo Jimmy. Appreciate you, big dog. Let me pull this over here real quick. Says, donations LOL, Derek, would you trade right now Stafford for Goff? Do you think Stafford could win a Super Bowl with this team? Okay, I forgot about that as well. Super chats, if you have a super chat and you want a question answered, that question will be turned into a video. So shout out to you. All right, we got a super chat from Leo Jimmy with the $5 super chat. And this is a great question. I want to get you guys' feedback. Derek, would you trade right now? Put me on the spot here. Stafford for Goff. And do you think Stafford could win a Super Bowl with this team? Ooh-wee. It's a great question. Now, I am a guy who is loyal. So for me, no. I wouldn't trade Stafford. Stafford is 37 years old. I would not trade him for Goff right now. And as far as Stafford, do I think Stafford could win a Super Bowl with this team? I'm going to say no, and I'm going to tell you why. Because if I was to say that Stafford could win a Super Bowl with this team, then I am contradicting my original thought, which is not Jared Goff. That would mean that it's Jared Goff's fault as to why we can't win a Super Bowl. That's not what I think. I think that the Detroit Lions need a few more pieces. Now, going into 2025, we needed a defensive end. That's what we needed. In 2023, we needed a defensive end outside of Aiden to help us make the Super Bowl. 49ers traded for Chase Young. He helped them get there. They didn't win it, but he helped them get there. Jalen Phillips right now is beasting on the Philadelphia Eagles. He might help them get there as well. But now we need so much more than that. Now we need a left tackle. We're going to need we might need a center. We might need a whole O-line is in shambles. We've got one staple on the O-line, which is Penei Sewell. So would I trade Stafford for Stafford right now? No, he wanted to go. You can stay where you are. Second, that's me saying, if I said yes, that it's Stafford. We are a quarterback away from a Super Bowl, and I don't buy that one bit. I think we are a defensive line, offensive line away from a Super Bowl. Up until this year, it was get a DN. Didn't happen. It didn't happen. When we did get one, it was because we lost the one that we had. And again, maybe, and I think after this year, Lions fall short of a Super Bowl appearance. Depending on what Brad says at the end of his season press conference, I think you're going to start to see what I've been seeing, which is you got to get out your own way. He has to get out his own way. Because when you have a guy that talks like this, how many teams in the NFL, right? Which you already know the answer to, right? How many teams in the NFL? It's 32, right? It's 32. How many elite defensive ends would you say are in the NFL? 6? Okay, that's a good number. And you say we got one of them, right? You say we got one. Is all of this because Aiden Hutchinson is hurt? Is that why we keep talking about the pass rush? No, Brad. We keep talking about the pass rush because we didn't have one. We keep talking about the pass rush because we only got one dude making it. As a matter of fact, I was so into the game that I didn't peep this out. I got to look at the NFL Pro, but I heard that Aleem McNeil was lining up at edge. I heard that Aleem McNeil was lining up at edge. So you mean to tell me that your defensive tackle, now let me paint the picture for you people. Let me cook real quick. In the time that Aiden Hutchinson has been the Detroit Lions' elite defensive end, the person that has been the runner-up in sacks to him is a defensive tackle by the name of Aleem McNeil. Our defensive edge is so bad, you put your stud defensive tackle on the edge to try to make an impact. Aleem McNeil plays defensive tackle, and he's pretty good at it too. But you got to move him to edge. That's what I heard anyway. I ain't go check the tape. I haven't looked. I've been too busy. I ain't looked to see if that's the reality. But if it is, why is we doing that? What happened? I thought we had Al-Qadim Muhammad. I thought we had Marcus Davenport. Oh, yeah, that's right. He's injured like we predicted. How come Brad didn't see that? He was injured when he signed with us. He was injured when we re-signed him in 2025. What is this? What do we do? So now it's so bad. What happened to the depth? What happened to all these people? What happened to Josh Pasco, the 46th pick of the draft? I know he's battling cancer. Prayers up. No disrespect, right? But what's going on? What happened to Levi Onwuzurike? Your second round pick in 2021 is being outshined by a third round pick that you extended, but you re-signed him. And guess what? He hurt too. He hurt too. So for me, Stafford is not the difference maker, not for this team. Maybe he was with the Rams. Maybe he was with the Rams because the Rams, don't forget, let me keep cooking. Let me keep cooking. Where my chef hat? As a matter of fact, I'm going to order a chef hat. I'm going to order a chef hat, bro, and I'm going to wear that mug when I'm cooking. Brad Holmes refused to not even make a move. He didn't speak at the trade deadline. The brother didn't even say nothing. Jalen Phillips gets moved to the Philadelphia Eagles. Immediate impact. In 2021, the LA Rams, they traded for Matthew Stafford, who, by the way, they did not have a first-round pick going into that draft because of Jalen Ramsey. So they trade for Matthew Stafford, giving up 2 first-round picks, throwing in Jared Goff as icing, a cherry on top, depending on how you look at it. They signed Odell Beckham in free when he got cut by the Cleveland Browns. Signed with the Rams. He had Aaron Donald. They also had Von Miller, who was still something at the time. He might not be the same now, but he was something back then. Oh, did I mention you had Aaron Donald? You had all of them pieces, and you still was a millisecond away, a half a second away from losing that Super Bowl. But we're supposed to win this thing with the mystery man? So Stafford is not the answer. He is not going to take this team to the Super Bowl because you need an O-line to protect him. You need a defensive line to get him the ball back. Stafford is not going to take the 2025 Detroit Lions to the Super Bowl. That's a great question, though. A great question. I appreciate it. They did. They played Tyreek and DJ in the middle. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. I heard that. I was too busy. So I'm streaming the games, right? And I see why people have to go watch the game again because I'm streaming the games. I'm now trying to keep, I got like the time. So I'm stopping the clock. I am the play-by-play announcer. I'm the clock. What is it? The timekeeper. I'm all of them things, bro. I'm trying to interact with the chat. I'm trying to do all of these things. And I'm like, yo, I see why people watch the game again because you miss so much. Brad just stuck in the ways that got us here, which is building through the draft. He got to take the next step and trade for a needle mover on the D-line and fix the trenches. That's when we will get our Lombardi. Well, Wave Kid, he might be out of time. I mean, real talk, Brad Holmes might be out of time. So I'm going to tell you what's going to be a big turning point. This is going to be a big signal. So Brad and Dan, okay, Dan got a 6-year deal. Brad got a 5, right? So they didn't come in together. People think that Brad hired Dan. That's not what happened. So they came in. So they came in together as in GM and coach at the same time, but they're not like, okay, Bob Quinn. Bob Quinn. Yeah, Bob Quinn, when he came here, Jim Caldwell was already here. So he was a dead man walking. Bob was waiting on him to mess up. 9-7 isn't good enough, and we can't beat the good teams. A quote I will never forget. It was true. Never forget. You can use that same quote right now. 6-4 ain't good enough, and we can't beat the good teams because we haven't. Lions haven't they beat one good team. That was it. Baltimore Ravens, I don't know what was happening with them in week 3. But we beat one good team. 9-7 wasn't good enough, and we can't beat the good teams. That's the full quote. So he brings in a guy that supposedly can help us. Matt Patricia. We know how that turned out. That's why they both had to get fired together. Now, Brad and Dan, it's a little different. One came in, had nothing to do with the other. So now, who goes? You have to make a choice right now. Who are you choosing, Brad or Dan? As a matter of fact, let's do this. let's make a poll. And I'm going to put this in all capital letters. You must, come on, dog, choose who are you picking? Let me check the text hotline as well. Okay, who stays? You know what's funny to me is that, I've been talking about this for a while, and now it seems like everybody else is catching up with me. And that's one of the things, man, about when you stay the course. Wait a minute. I saw something good. All right. Okay, so Anna D with the super chat, I appreciate you. Says, can you do a video about the Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter plot from the game Sunday? I would like to hear your thoughts about that. Anna is referring to the fact that and I was thinking about Anna doing it on Lion Syndicate, but if I do it, I have to do it today. So I could try to pull that off. I can give you my thoughts here though, but I don't know if I'll make a video about it, but I appreciate the super chat. All right, let me see. Micah Parsons has Rashawn Gary. TJ Watt has Nick Herbig. And why can't Hutch have that same level of help? AQM is not the same level of player. Google Face, thank you very much. Thank you very much, man. And this is what, and I think that Lions fans are kind of battered in a sense that we accept whatever. Like, AQM was a practice squad dude. His career high was 6.5 sacks. His career high is 6.5. You don't take a 6.5 guy and turn him into a double-digit sack dude. It just doesn't happen. Trey Flowers never hit double-digit sacks. His career high, look, I didn't even look and check the facts. I could be spewing nonsense. But off the dome, never hit. Let me know if I'm wrong in the comments. Trey Flowers never hit double-digit sacks. His career high was 7.5 when he signed with the Detroit Lions. $90 million. His career high was 7.5. Wavy Kid, I think I read that one already. Brad cannot deny the difference seeing Phillips cook us. We might need a new GM. Dern says, I told you. Okay, Dern, what did you tell me, bro? I might be a little bit behind. Broncos have a multitude of good pass rushers. That's why they lead the league in sacks. Oh, don't look now, dirty boy. But the Atlanta Falcons, who had the worst pass rush in the NFL last year, guess where they at? Can somebody tell me, where do the Atlanta Falcons rank right now in sacks? Now, yeah, their record is not because you need an offense. You need an offense. But if you got the right offense, or you got the 2000 Baltimore Ravens or whatever it was, you can win without an offense. Dern says, I told you Aleem was lining up. No, Dern, you did tell me that. But the thing is, I didn't go check the tape. That was all. Appreciate you. Somebody mentioned something about Kyler Murray. Ooh-wee. First of all, Jared Goff ain't going nowhere. Forget about it. Second, Kyler Murray would have to be the backup here. That ain't going to happen. He going to go somewhere and start. But Kyler Murray to the Lions ain't happening. Not happening. We know we're stuck with him for now. We ain't winning with Jared Goff. Jared Goof. Flowers didn't want to be here. Hey, Raw, I thought he had 7.5, bro. It's 7? His high was 7? That's even worse. Raw Detroit says, number 2 in sacks, Atlanta Falcons. You know what they did, didn't they? Invested in a D-line. Mm-hmm. Penix is not the guy, by the way. He's not the guy, bro. He's not the guy. You put the Denver Bronco offense with the Lions offense. Say less. say less. You know what? I'm about to grow my hair out like Cam Newton. I'm about to grow the hair that I have on my head out like Cam Newton. I'm going to get me a Cam Newton hat, and I'm going to start 4th and 10. It's happening. It's happening, bro. Aaron, they are number two. Number two, the Atlanta Falcons, bottom of the league. Not bottom, worst in the NFL in rushing the passer in 2024, are number 2 in sacks. It's their offense that is behind. So, hear me when I say, when we come out of this season and we are not in the Super Bowl, to me, Dan, okay, so I put, man, I wish we had a bigger sample size. I wish we had a bigger, out of 29 votes, you must choose one. Who stays? 72% say Dan Campbell, 28% say Brad Holmes. Ooh-wee. Let me check the text hotline real quick, see if we got any new text. All right, so we got Dirty Boy with the text, says Glasgow and Decker have been awful. Both need to be replaced next year. You know what, Dern? I think they will be. The Lions will save money with Taylor's release, and I think he released. I think we could see Taylor Decker either retire right now. I'm calling it 95% that Taylor Decker is cut. And I'm also going to say that I'm 50-50 on if he signs and plays one more year. I could see him going to, who's the Chiefs left tackle? Is it Juwan? No, Juwan. Juwan is the right or left tackle. I could see him going somewhere trying to get a ring or retiring. It's going to be one or the other. Taylor seems to me like a Lion for life, but you never know how somebody feeling. Maybe he's spurned, maybe he's upset, or maybe he understands that he goes spend time with his wife and kids. But shout out to you, Dern, for the text. We got Sports Talk with Rob says, I'm going to be sick if this Pistons team wins a championship before the Lions team. Well, get ready, bro. Get ready. Raw Detroit says, I would take Trey Lance as a backup QB. Yeah, that wouldn't be bad, bro. I'm about to go watch the game again. What about Shador? Obviously, let me see. Dang, I lost it. Dang, where did it go? Oh, what about Shador? Obviously, Cleveland don't want him. Okay, well, Leo, he would have to get cut, and we would have to sign him. And I think Shador ain't coming here. They're Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. They're not taking. If you deal with Shador, you got to deal with Deion, and that's not happening. That's not happening. I see stuff every time Goff has one bad game. If we have one of the best QBs in the league, the MVPs of the league have 0 rings. As Goff, by the way, 0. I thought Trey had 9.5. Nope. Dern, he did not, bro. He did not. As a matter of fact, let's do this. Let me on air correct myself. Or Trey Flowers, defensive end. We'll look at his stats. Because this was, okay. Stats for his career. All right, I'm going to look at this in real time with y'all. Hopefully I wasn't wrong, but I don't mind saying I was. Last time Trey Flowers, he went back home. He ran back home to daddy. This was the first year this was after Matt Patricia got fired and Bill Belichick picked him up to be whatever he was with the Patriots. Daddy. Ben. 7.5. Hey, I know what I know, bro. We talking about sacks. Not a game. We talking about sacks, bro. What did I say was his record, his career high? What did I say? Shout out to Raw Detroit. Shout out to my guy Dern. Let's go. Hey, TA, you forgot, bro. You know, this was the whole Danny Amendola arc. You know what I mean? It was that whole arc, bro. 7.5, bro. $90 million. $90 million for 7.5 sacks. That's what we're asking Muhammad to do. You don't take a guy, a practice squad guy, and he becomes a star. It's like a diamond in the rough. It doesn't happen that often. So for Brad Holmes to think that these practice squad guys are going to turn into stars is ridiculous. That's why I'm not as high on a 6th-round pick in Ahmed Hassanin. I'm just not. No knock to the kid. He seems the perfect Detroit Lion for the culture that we've built. But outside of that, he hasn't done anything in the NFL. I'm basing my reaction on what Muhammad can do. I can't even believe it. Aleem McNeil, our edge, was so bad that Aleem was on the edge. Come on, dog. What? Are you admitting defeat at this point? Are you admitting? Okay, does that mean, does Aleem McNeil being on the edge admit defeat? Where was Al-Qadim Muhammad? How many snaps did he have? Hold on, we running overtime. Let me pull this up. How many snaps did AQM have? NFL Pro. I got it. I pay for it once a month to come out of my account. $14.99. Every $14.99. And then we'll close up the ticket text. The send a text hotline. All right. Lord have mercy. I gotta know how to spell the guy's name now. I gotta put the dash in there. Lord Jesus, thank you. Thank you. I had to put the dash. The dash changed the game. It changed the game. I might have to make a video about this too. All righty. So Al-Qadim Muhammad has played 252 snaps. He's had 15 tackles, and 6 of them have been sacks. What did he do? Go down here. Defensive against the Eagles. My brother had 19 snaps. He had 19 snaps, bruh. 5 against the run. He had 14 against the pass. He had 1 QB pressure. Pass rush. Let me see what we're looking at here. Pass rush was the 14 snaps, 1 QB pressure. Yes, I agree. Shallow and pedantic. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be the show. I appreciate y'all. We'll be on tomorrow as well. The time is to be determined. Just make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll be set it to all so you guys know when we go live, man. And we are going to be introducing new Pistons content, even if I have to do it, because I'm going to start watching the Pistons. I think Muhammad got 7 right now, though. Nope, he got 6. Al-Qadim Muhammad is a rotational piece. I'm so tired of golf. Anyone with me? Hey, listen. If you blame golf, you got to blame Brad. They one and the same. They are one in the same. They ride together. They get cut together. GM and quarterback for life. If you are tired of Jared Goff, you're tired of Brad Holmes. They are one in the same. I'm standing on business. You know why I'm standing on business? Because in this year is the first year of Jared Goff's new money, and your general manager. I got no problem with Goff. I'm gonna keep it above. I got a problem with Brad. I don't got a problem with Goff though. I don't. Goff does his job. He does it very well. He was leading the league in completion percentage until this week, and y'all want to cut him. Y'all want to cut him. But if you blame him, you got to blame the guy that decided to re-sign him, and not just re-sign him. $53 million a year. So you can't just be mad at Goff and Brad gets a pass. That don't happen, bro. Brad decided to sign this guy for 4 more years. So if you blame one, you got to blame the other. You can blame Brad without blaming Goff, but if you blame Goff, you're blaming Brad. I'm on it, bro. I'm not getting off this because y'all can't stand this man. He will give you all he got, and then you got this stubborn general manager that is positional value villain on flaunting around his stubbornness. You got him flaunting around while he getting showed up by a general manager who sounds like a squirrel. I'm like, yo, I didn't know Howie Roseman sounds like that. I mean, it ain't no problem, bruh. You know what I'm saying? I don't got the deepest voice either, but I was like, is this is the guy this is Howie Roseman? I was like, is that my voice? Is that my voice? Come on, dog. Come on, man. No, we're not doing this. Jared Goff is your quarterback for the next 3 years or 2 years. You got to deal with it. That's it. That's it. So it's up to Brad Holmes to make this team better. Jared's going to do his part. Jared's going to do his part. It's up to Brad to make this team better. Oh, by the way, he didn't. At the trade deadline, ghost, crickets, nothing. But we want to blame Brad Holmes. You knew you needed an offensive lineman at the trade deadline. You didn't make one. Y'all thought, y'all remember, and we'll wrap the show up. Y'all was telling me in my videos, Derek, we don't need a D lineman anymore. You're crazy. We're top 2 in sacks. We're second in sacks. What we need is offensive linemen. Brad's going to trade for one. Oh, by the way, there's 2 guys from Washington that's available. And Brad at the trade deadline was like, he up his nose, bro. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. This is it. Like, Brad got 2 more years. He got 2 more years to get it done. That's it. And the poll shows right now, out of 46 votes, you must choose one who stays. 78% say Dan Campbell, 22% say Brad Holmes. And I'm going to tell you what it is, and we'll wrap up the show. I know I've been saying that. This is why we could go for 2 hours, man. One day we're going to start that, all right? I just got to make sure I got enough material, but I'm pretty good at what I do, okay? So here's the problem, and I think people are starting to see this. When you're getting shown up, like Brad has been living off of where we came from. He's been living off of taking a basement-dwelling team from the bottom to literally the top in 3 years. That is going to wear off after a while. He can't, hey, well, I took the team from I took the Detroit Lions who sucked. You know they suck, right? Within 3 years, I turned them around to a Super Bowl. We was in the NFC Championship game. Brad Holmes going to be one of them guys that he keep talking about the 2023. It's 2028. Remember, I said this is half a decade for Brad and Dan. Dan is doing his job. He doing his job, bro. He in front of the media every week, every loss, every win. Brad, if he get in front of the media this offseason and he say the same thing he said before, it's going to be old. What did he say going into 2024? What's your goal? Super Bowl. He said it with some bravado. He was like, to win the Super Bowl. Okay, Brad, 15-2, didn't make it. Oops. So now this year, didn't say nothing like that at the wrap up, the offseason wrap up, nothing. Then what to me, which was despicable, he didn't take no calls at the trade. He didn't take no interviews at the trade deadline, bro. That's despicable to me. It just is. And then you have Dan Campbell answering all the trade questions. That is Brad's job. It ain't Dan's job to speak for Brad. It ain't Brad's job to speak for Dan. So I'm telling you, listen, this how it's going to be. This how it's going to be. All right, we're going to end the poll right there. Because he was lame. Getting rid of Dan is crazy. It's hard not to choke, let alone barely breathe when your O-line gives you no time to set your feet. Trade goof this offseason. Okay, DM, I'm not going to read your comments, bro. I'm not going to. Go look at his cap hit and then come talk to me. You're not going to. First of all, his name is Goff. His name is his Goff, bro. The second, that's your quarterback, your general manager. So I don't want to hear nothing, bro. Unless you put such and such Goff and Brad, I don't want to hear nothing. Because Brad is the one that extended him for 4 more years with a record deal. I don't want to hear it. Joe Burrow stayed getting killed. The man still made the Super Bowl while getting killed in the playoffs. Leo, nobody's arguing that, bro. Who's the superior quarterback? Joe Burrow, bro. There's no denying that. Joe Burrow is a monster with no O-line. So yes, there is a difference. Nobody's saying that there's not a difference between quarterbacks. But Jared Goff is the court. He's also, let's not take away from the good that Brad that Jared can do. Jared Goff is a precision passer. if you give him what he need, an offensive line. That's it. And you know what I love is that Goff had an outstanding completion percentage against the blitz. I don't know where we get this stuff from. You know what I'm saying? Because he not razzle dazzle in the pocket. You know, even Stafford, he be jittery. He be moving out the pocket. He'll do this. He'll sidestep you. I mean, he do all this stuff. I think that's what the problem is. The fact that Jared Goff is a dinosaur. He is a dinosaur, bro. His type of quarterback is a dinosaur. It died in the 2010s. It died there. Let me see. Didn't Brad call for Trey? I don't know. I just report what I hear. That's what they said. But I don't know. I don't have, a microphone on the inside. Man, enough with the Goff disrespect. Bandwagon fans know he stinks. Okay, well, you know what, DM, that's your quarterback. That's it. So, I mean, you can have your opinion, but I think it's wrong to put all the blame on him when you're not blaming the guy that signed him. Nobody ever puts Goff in, and except me, I put them together. Do you think also that could be why he's not picking on the trade deadline? I don't know, Sergey. Plus, Brad didn't answer questions last year when we got Zadarius. He didn't? I thought he did. He answered for Donovan Peoples-Jones, and he talked. And eventually, he talked about it. If it wasn't at the trade deadline, he did, because he said that Zadarius Smith was the best of the available pass rushers. So I don't know if you're right about that, bro. If Goff isn't your QB, then don't be happy when we win something. Yeah. LOL, he's in the top 5 in almost every statistical category, but he's bad. He's bad because he's not who people want. They want Lamar Jackson. They want Kyler Murray. I don't know who they want, man. But here's the deal. The deal is quite simple. That Goff is here. Him, Dan, and Brad all have converging contracts. They are up at the same. Well, Goff's is a year past that. He's a year past that. Here's what I think happens. I'm going to make a bold, semi-outlandish opinion, bold prediction, okay? Or more, not a prediction, but I could see this happening. I could see, okay, you know what? That might be a new segment as well. I could see, let me write that down. Well, it's in video form. So let's do one more, and then I promise I'll get off because I got to cook. It's time for me to cook dinner. All right. Yes, I do cook dinner. I could see a situation. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to introduce a new segment. Don't steal this one either. This one is I could see, okay? So what we're going to do is, instead of a bold prediction or an overreaction, because a bold prediction is something that you think is going to happen. You're more like, you know what? This really, you're leaning on the side of outlandish, but it could happen. My thing is that you see it happening. My thing is, I think that this is something that I could see happening if a certain number of things line up. And we're talking about Brad Holmes. Brad Holmes is finally under enough fire from not just me, but people. Detroit Lions fans are starting to pay attention. And I think it comes from being able to see things more clear. The fact that at the trade deadline, not only was there no moves, he didn't say a word. He didn't answer any questions. Why didn't you move? Instead, the coach answered those questions. In the offseason, you re-signed Levi Onwuzurike, Marcus Davenport. Don't be surprised if the Detroit Lions re-sign Josh Pascal this offseason. Don't be surprised. And Brad got a lot of work to do on the defensive line. He got a lot of work to do, period. But I tell you what, who got paid? Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta going to be here. Him and Brian Branch, they going to be here. Because against that game against the Eagles, we saw what Sam Laporta means in his team. And what happens when you don't have a number 3 wide receiver, when your number 3 wide receiver is your tight end. But he's a tight end. He's not a wide receiver. So the new segment is, I could see. Right? Shout out to Rich Eisen. Got the higher register. That's actually a brilliant segment because everybody does that. Everybody, when you are not sure about something, you raise your register. Shout out to him. So this one going to be kind of, I could see, right? I could see a situation that at the end of 2027, going into 2028, that there's a situation where one of three individuals are not part of the team. Okay? In the off season of 2028, as of this moment, so it could change. And at that point, this conversation will be irrelevant to some degree. At the end of the 2027 NFL season, so the off season of 2028, as of this moment, Brad Holmes nor Dan Campbell are under contract with the Detroit Lions. But there's a man who is. Now, the Lions have an out from that individual, goes by the name of Jared Goff. Brad Holmes, the person nobody wants to blame when they're blaming Jared Goff, decides to extend Jared Goff 4 more years of new money and a potential out contract-wise after year 3 of that new money. Oh, by the way, Jared is in year 1 of the new money. So I could see a situation that Dan Campbell is retained, okay? Jared Goff does play the last year of his deal. The Lions either will take or have taken a quarterback to succeed Jared Goff. And Brad Holmes' contract is not renewed. I said it. I put it on tape. I put it on record. I could see a scenario that Dan Campbell would have to gets extended because the crazy scenario is neither one of them do. But I don't see that happening. Campbell gets extended, even if it's by 1 year, so that him and Jared Goff can finish up together. Because I don't think that Campbell is as entrenched or connected as Goff and Holmes, especially knowing that Holmes came from LA. He was the scout for the LA Rams when he took the job with the Detroit Lions. So to me, they are connected. And the fact that Dan and Brad didn't come in together. Like they didn't, meaning Brad did not hire Dan. Okay? So I could see that scenario. Now the question is, if you were to extend Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, how long would you extend them for? They had a 6-year deal and a 5-year deal, respectively. One got, after the 2023 NFL season, one got 1 year, one got 2. The Lions set it up like that to come in so that they could end together, that their contracts, if you ask me, so that they could end together. That's what I think they did. I also believe that the reason that Jared Goff's contract is the way it is, because it also aligns with their contract ending. That Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, and Brad Holmes all run out of time at the same time. But is it a scenario that a new coach comes in? I love Dan Campbell. That this is not about me not liking him. This is the segment. Is there a scenario where we get a new coach, we get a new GM, we keep the quarterback simply because he's under contract, and we usher in a new era with a new guy after that? That the new regime comes in and they pick their guys. Now, of course, these two guys could be extended and then it's done. And if they are, to me, right now, they're 7 years. I'm saying this. Here's what I would say. If I extend both of them together, if I really believe in these guys, I'm giving them 3 years apiece. You know what? It'll be a decade when this thing is over. And what I would say is that, because you know what, y'all, I believe that there's going to have to be a separation between Brad and Dan. Like, I know we love this, right? We love this this kind of predator handshake, Schwarzenegger, Carl Weathers. We like the biceps showing. We like the two guys together, right? We love it. We love that they got the same brain. But think about it. You don't hear about Les Snead and Sean McVay. You don't hear about Sirianni and Howie Roseman. They're not connected like that. Howie does his job. Sirianni does his. Right? McVay does his job. Snead does his. This whole bro thing is cool, but it might be a time where they got to separate each other. Right? And I'm speaking truth here. I'm speaking truth. Where Brad might have to say, look, because this whole no amount of talent is going to get you on the Detroit Lions. Okay. That also might mean that you don't have a job at the end of your contract. I mean, these are facts, right? Like, I'm not even trying to be a hater. I'm never a hater. So I could see a scenario and that happens. But let me know, man. Yo, this is look, this is a really good conversation because think about it, y'all. We've been so enamored. We've been so kind of sucked into this winning culture, to this winning. I mean, look, these two guys got rid of SOL. They got rid of SOL, bro. SOL was trying to fight his way back. Even last year, it was like, man, this is the same old Lions. It's the same old Lions. And they destroyed that. And you know what? If it doesn't work out with these two guys, I will forever be grateful that they did that they got rid of SOL. Because SOL was something, it didn't matter. There used to be a time, and TA was around for this, Raw Detroit. He was around for this. There was a time that you could make a video about the Lions winning and nobody cared. Nobody watched that they were winning. I used to make videos all the time during the season. Oh, the Lions beat the Seattle Seahawks. They did this, blah, blah, blah. That's how I got my start. And nobody cared. It was when they lost that people wanted to watch. They wanted to see the spiral. They wanted to vent and get their frustration out. And it was like that because even when the Lions won, you didn't believe in them fully. Like, that's one thing I can say about these two guys is they have earned and changed the entire mentality of the fan base. And I will always be grateful for that because now you can't talk negative about it. I mean, I understand why YouTubers they want to tiptoe around, talking bad about Brad Holmes and the Lions because it doesn't, the views don't be viewing when you do that. You call it a hater, you call it a whatever, you know what I'm saying? People are in their feelings because you're telling the truth. But it's different. So I will always be grateful to those guys for that. So with that being said, man, let's really officially this time in the video. We've been on, we went 17 minutes into overtime. You know what I think I might do as well? Right now the show is supposed to be an hour. I think I might put a graphic on the screen like we're in overtime. When we go over an hour, that's mainly my fault. Then I'll put like like overtime, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe some flames or some fire or something like that, man. Something to be like to symbol that we out of time. So with that being said, man, you can definitely develop a rookie QB. Dynamite says too, you use Saps, Channing, Jared Goff, Chiefs fans, Patriot fans never did that for Brady. You living in delusion. The guy has done nothing. Real facts. Okay, DM, I'm going to let you, I appreciate you, bro, but I'm going to put you in timeout. I need you to go, in the corner somewhere. I'll see you tomorrow, all right? That's not true. There was a reason why, and we'll wrap up the show, I promise. There was a reason why we did that. There was a reason why we did that, bro. Hold on. I'm getting hot. I'm starting to get hot. There was a reason why we did that. You want to know why we did that? You know what? You want to know why we did that? We did that because as half of the fan base is buying Detroit Lions Rams shirts, we are divided on who we support as our quarterback. What are you talking about, bro? The fact that this man asked to leave and you got Detroit Lions fans buying Detroit Rams shirts. You got Detroit Lions fans cheering for Matthew Stafford. It was a debate on whether or not we should cheer or boo Matthew Stafford. And out organically, I was at that game. organically, the Jared Goff chants were developed. You know why? It was to show our support for our current quarterback, the guy who didn't have a choice but to be here. The guy that was thrown away, not the guy that went to posh LA, was on the cover of every single magazine. All of a sudden, it wasn't him, it was the team. And yet you still dumping on him, but you won't dump on the man that brought him here. That's why we chanted Jared Goff. And you said he didn't do nothing for this team, right? Okay, let me correct you there. Not only did he bring the first NFC North championship for the Detroit Lions in the 23 years it existed, he also won a playoff game at Ford Field, which never Stafford didn't do. In addition to that, the Lions have never had a first seed until last year. He did that too. And you said he didn't do nothing. That other guy didn't do anything. Come on, dog. This is crazy to me. This is why we're fans, because we are loony. Some part of us is crazy. Just like you got to be crazy a little bit to play football, you got to be crazy to be a fan. This is crazy to me. What are you talking about? We got two banners that we never had. Before that, it was 1957. That's the only thing we had in some central championship. Come on, dog. This is ridiculous to me. So you go sit in the corner and get yourself together. I'll see you tomorrow. Anyway, with that note, now we getting off. I appreciate y'all. It's all love. But y'all got to stop with this. Y'all got to stop with this, man. If you demand so much of Jared Goff, you demand so much of everybody associated with the Detroit Lions. Sheila, Brad, Dan, Rod, everyone. Or you can choose to go root for the Detroit Rams. That's up to you. I'll see y'all tomorrow. It's crazy.
And I'm pissing off the neighbors. Whether homegrown or imported, we feeling shorted, cause we waiting on our paper. So next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City, where we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Yeah, you don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets. Cause when you're in the Motor City, nothing is as pretty as the hustle. You don't know about the D, you don't know about the streets. Cause when you're in the Motor City, everything ain't pretty but it's love though. Oh. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Next time when they ask you where you from, you gon' say Detroit City when we get back on our feet. Yeah.